Lightning McQueen prepares for the Piston Cup, repeating to himself, "I am speed. I eat losers for breakfast." As he exits his trailer, the crowd goes wild and he feeds off their applause. The race begins. Lightning is overconfident and arrogant. He's a rookie with enormous talent, which makes him feel untouchable, as if he has the world at his feet. Halfway through the race, he's in third place, right behind the king, a racing legend. To gain an advantage, Lightning avoids going to the pits to change his tires. His team warns him that he needs the change, but he ignores them, believing he knows better than they do. In the final lap, Lightning is in the lead, about to win, but one of his tires blows out and then another. The king and chick are closing in. Lightning does everything possible to move forward, but without tires, he's really slow. The three approach the finish line, and desperate, Lightning sticks out his tongue to shorten the distance. The result is a three-way tie, something never seen before. It's announced that they'll compete in a tiebreaker race the following week. After the race, McQueen boasts about having achieved everything on his own, offending his team, who quit when they hear he doesn't appreciate them. Lightning is too conceited to care and simply enjoys the attention. The king approaches Lightning, congratulates him, and offers advice. "You need to wake up and start making better decisions. This isn't an individual sport. You can't win without a team of experts behind you." However, Lightning stops listening and starts fantasizing about receiving sponsorship from Dinoco. Lightning McQueen embodies the myth of the self-made man, the belief that a person can achieve success all by themselves. Mac, Lightning's trailer, transports him to California for the tiebreaker race.
Life's like a road that you travel on, when there's one day here and the next day gone. Sometimes you bend and sometimes you stand, sometimes you turn your back to the wind. 'Cause life is a highway, and I wanna ride it all night long. If you're going my way.
Fatigue gets the better of him, and he accidentally loses Lightning halfway there. Lightning wakes up on an unknown road, tries to catch up to Mac, but ends up taking a wrong turn. He arrives at Radiator Springs, a small, forgotten town. Lightning's entrance into Radiator Springs is chaotic. He causes a commotion and destroys much of the main road. The sheriff captures him and brings him before Judge Doc Hudson, who sentences him to community service. He must repave the road he damaged before he can return to California. Lightning tries to avoid his punishment, but Doc challenges him to a race. If Lightning wins, he can leave without fixing the road. The race consists of a single lap on a dirt track. Lightning mocks Doc, assuring him he could never beat him. The race begins and Lightning shoots off while Doc simply waits. Near the finish, Lightning fails to control a turn on the dirt track and falls into a cactus-filled ravine. Doc asks Mater, the town's tow truck, to pull him out, and soon Lightning is back repairing the road, angrier than ever. The next day, the residents wake up to find the road much smoother. Doc looks for Lightning and finds him on the track, practicing the turn that defeated him. He offers advice on how to make the turn, but Lightning mocks him. That night, Mater invites Lightning for a drive.
Tractor tipping, kitchen. Go! Woo! That's Frank.
They have fun, and at the end, Mater tells him, "You're my best friend." Those words impact Lightning, who had never had a real friend before. The next morning, Lightning looks for Doc to tell him he needs to leave. While waiting, he enters an abandoned garage and discovers something shocking: a Piston Cup trophy with the inscription 1951 champion. Doc Hudson had won 3 championships. Doc enters, angry because Lightning has entered without permission. When Lightning mentions his trophies, Doc replies, "All I see are empty cups," and closes the door. Sally, a Porsche, invites Lightning for a drive. She tells him she used to be a successful lawyer in Los Angeles, but wasn't happy. She began traveling until she reached Radiator Springs and fell in love with the place, its views, and its friends. Sally explains that Radiator Springs wasn't always so worn down. 40 years ago, cars traveled the country differently. They didn't take shortcuts, but moved with the terrain. Cars didn't hit the road just to go fast, but to enjoy themselves. The world was different. Lightning thanks her for the drive, saying that sometimes going slower can be more rewarding than going at maximum speed. It's symbolic that this story is about race cars, which represent speed and modernity. Later, Lightning discovers Doc practicing on the track. He watches him dominating the track with mastery, especially the turn that he hasn't been able to overcome. Impressed, he asks why Doc abandoned racing. Doc shows him a newspaper announcing a crash he had. He had to retire to recover, but when he was ready to return, the racing world turned its back on him. "I still had a lot to give, but they didn't let me show it." Doc rejected the liquid modernity lifestyle and sought something more solid, a community. "The people in this town are good folks. They care about each other, and I don't want them to trust someone they can't count on." The next morning, everyone wakes up to find the road completely repaired. Lightning, now free to leave, decides to stay a bit longer. He visits each business in town, gets new tires, a paint job, and prepares a surprise for Sally. When night falls, the whole town lights up with neon.
Life could be
shining like in its best days, Sally is amazed. Their moment is interrupted by press helicopters that have found Lightning. Mac informs him they must leave immediately for the Piston Cup. Lightning tries to express his feelings to Sally, but she interrupts him. "Thank you for everything you did for us. Good luck in California. I hope you find what you're looking for." A reporter thanks Doc for giving her information about Lightning's location. Sally gets angry with him. Everyone watches Lightning leave and returns to their homes, turning off the neon lights that had brought them so much hope. In California, the Piston Cup is about to begin. Lightning repeats, "I am Speed," but his mind is flooded with memories of his friends in Radiator Springs. As he exits the trailer, he goes to Mac, who now acts as his crew chief. The race begins, but Lightning isn't focused until he hears a voice. "I didn't come all this way to see you lose." It's Doc, who has come to support him along with all the residents of Radiator Springs. Motivated, Lightning dominates the track following Doc's advice. Chick gets desperate and hits Lightning, forcing him off the track, but he has already learned to drive on dirt and returns to take the lead. The race is about to end. Chick, frustrated, brutally hits the king, sending him off the track. Lightning is about to cross the finish line when he sees the king injured. Remembering Doc's accident, he breaks inches from the finish line, goes back, and pushes the king across the line. "An old, grumpy car once taught me that it's just an empty cup," he says when the king asks why he gave up the victory. Dinoco offers Lightning a deal. There's a lot more to racing than just winning. Being part of Dinoco is everything Lightning had dreamed of, but looking at his friends, he responds, "My team believed in me long before I was successful. That's why I'm staying with them." Lightning returns to Radiator Springs, establishes his headquarters there, and enjoys the company of his friends and the entire community that loves him, understanding that there are more important and rewarding things than winning at all costs.